Yep, that's right. I'm live again. Yep, you know why? Because here's why. If I hold it in, my head's gonna explode. Okay? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Oh, fuck. I had a conversation with a very good friend, and every time they couldn't answer a question I posed to them, they went back to my lack of education. Okay? My lack of education. So that must mean I'm stupid. I'm shocked because I kind of thought that because I was white, I was privileged. So wouldn't that mean I had the best education? So do I have white privilege or am I stupid and don't know what I'm talking about? You don't get it both ways. See, my white privilege should have afforded me the best of conversation, correct? I mean, it's not a conversation, I'm sorry, education. Am I correct? My white privilege should have afforded me that, right? I should have gotten that because I'm white. Got white privilege, don't I? But apparently, when asking questions that were completely logical questions to me, like, then why would there be so much offense at a white entertainment network or a magazine called Ivory? Um, but my lack of education made me ask that question. So it became an opportunity to insult me. And basically, they'll point out that I obviously didn't have white privilege, lack of education. You know what it was? My sister died, and my mother was heartbroken, and we moved to England when I was 16. Sorry, my my color didn't save me from losing my sibling, and my education being not thought of at all. See, no white privilege, no white privilege. My mother struggled, you know, so there was no white privilege. And I'm very clear with what I'm saying. I know how to read, and I educate myself every day. Okay, for every response to questions posed to somebody, to be answered with an insult, telling me my lack of education. So is that all you got? What would it be if I was a Harvard graduate asking you the same question? What then would you respond to me with? What would your answer be then? Would it be lack of education, right? What would it be then? Just curious. You know what? I don't care how many subscribers I lose by speaking this. This is the truth. Okay? We're gonna talk about oh, look at white man came and look at what they did to the Indians. Look at what they did to the Indians. Well, hey, you know, um, everything is free will, correct? And let's not forget about the Buffalo Soldiers, okay? Right? So you took part in it. People take part in things, and and then it became, well, hey, how about the whole, you know, oh well, some of your own blacks, your elite blacks, actually traded, slaves. They took part in slavery on their own, plantations and their estates. Once again, my education came into play. Oh, it's funny because I thought I had white privilege. Thought I'd have the best education having white privilege. Am I correct? You know? I mean, I understand that. Oh my God. Apparently my white privilege didn't get me the best education. And yet you being black, you have a college degree. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, really? Stop it. Stop it. Oh, that history was changed, that narrative is, fake, the black, why do people say it? But it's okay to believe the whole slavery history, that, the white Atlantic slave trade, this and that, the white. But no, it's fake history when it includes the black elite that took part in it, right? And that's fake history. I get it. So everybody that wrote about what they saw, white or black, people who were against it, the abolishment, the abolitionists, right, who were against it, who spoke of how horrible it was, who took part in the abolishment of slavery. What are you saying? Did they not exist? Suddenly, when I mentioned, but what about the white soldiers that lost their life during the Civil War? Once again, my stupidity came into play. Your lack of education. Oh, so you get to posture to me about your wonderful education you received as a black person that was getting the short end of the stick? Ah, stupid white person, right? Fuck you. Fuck you. If you think for one fucking minute that when I read history, I say, oh, this has to do with blacks, I'm not going to read it. This history has to do with whites, I'm going to read it. If you think that my love of history doesn't cross the boundaries of race or anything else, you are incorrect. You are incorrect. And yet you refuse to watch a video. If you said, what the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? But you said, the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? Then you know what? Then you don't care about police brutality. Okay? Because if reparations and police brutality fall into the same fucking sentence, and that's all you fucking care about is reparations. But I want to know, reparations, well, how much do they owe you for that grass hut that you got taken from? Because fucking for real, let's talk about Africa and how safe it isn't. How many people do you see going on vacation there? How many? Let's be for real. But you know what? The funny thing is, you certainly don't see the history being spoken of or the anger. Like, there's these blacks in Michigan and they might be yelling about white flight and white this and white that, but they don't yell about the black politicians that fucked up their state, or Detroit in itself, or Flint and Dewater. What politicians were in? What color were they? Were they black? Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Still white man's fault, though, right? Still, right? Isn't it? That's what Nitty says, right? I have friends of every color, you know, black, white. Like an I friend. Friendship for me has no boundaries. I would never refuse to answer legit questions to my friends and use that opportunity to insult them and call them stupid. What they did. Called me stupid. Called me stupid. My lack of education makes me ask them why it would be such a big deal if white people had white entertainment television in a magazine called Ivory. I don't think that's lack of intelligence. I think that's a legit question since the 70s. I watched Heritage Corner. That was all about black heritage. Black History Month. You know what's funny is that I never considered history to be something about racism. I mean, like, yeah, okay, there was slavery, there was the Holocaust, there was so many, many, many injustices to so many people throughout history. Throughout history. But if we're still fighting about it today, then where's the advancement in that? Do you mean to tell me that we're supposed to continue to fight about slavery forever? So you get your college degree. My white privileged stupid ass got shit, but now I gotta pay you reparations too. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Hmm. I see. Hey, here we are, praising Muhammad Ali and he, whatever, and then it becomes, why should I have to go fight in the service? Look what they did to me. Look what they did. Well, what they did do exactly to you? I mean, let's be for real. Let's all think about this. If Britain and Winston Churchill had not inspired Britain to, even though they were a small country, you can go from one end to the other in 3 hours. Now, if they'd have fallen like the U.S. thought they were going to, things would be different now for all of us, black or white, okay? For all of us. But Britain didn't fall, okay? But if they had, then things would be different. But here we are, thanks to Britain. You know, I mean, sure. All right, hey, oh, hey, listen to what she's saying. America won World War II, did they? I mean, because as I recall, they didn't want to fight in the World War II because, it was making a lot of money. Oh, that's great for the economy. War is great for the economy. Is it? Is all that blood money great? How many Jews died while you were, making your fucking Cozy Riveter and shit? You know what I'm saying? How many other small countries got fucking bombed? I mean, the Nazis were, they had a sub right outside the fucking Cape Cod. They had a rally in Central Park. I'm sorry, Madison Square Garden. My bad. Madison Square Garden. Okay? A Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden. And if Winston Churchill hadn't inspired a country enough to believe that we have nothing to fear but fear itself, and and to stand up united and to take preemptive measures, and if they didn't have leaders that stayed they stayed in the palace, that high secret society, after it was bombed. The queen, she was a jeep mechanic in World War II. So they took part in these things, and it inspired things. So my mother, who was British and lived through, the Blitz and all of that, it was because of that that Hitler was so fucking insulted. They were so insulted, that they were like, ugh, even America didn't expect Britain to fight back like that. So here's the thing though. I'm not still yelling about, oh, well, look at that German privilege. Look at that German privilege. I probably have some friends that have German, that with Black people. I still feel hesitant to say Black people, because for white people, you shouldn't say Black, you shouldn't say colored, you shouldn't say African American, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. But they can say Black Lives Matter, they can say the N word consistently, they can say this, they can say this, they can say this. I'm sorry. Isn't that the same as like segregation? I mean, the same. But I heard, what's his name there, Travis Scott, in one of his songs say, the crackers think of it as a noose. The crackers think of it as a noose. Hi, Ben. Um, the crackers think of it as a noose. That is fucked up. I'm tired of the blanket statement. To think that all whites are white privilege is the same that they want to argue about saying that all blacks aren't this way, all blacks aren't that way. Okay? Oh, it's the same as saying all blacks look alike, right? All Chinese look alike. All white people have white privilege. And when I try to emphasize that point to a friend, they said that my argument was based on my lack of education. You know, the one that my white privilege got me. So you think I can't read? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Morning, Dominic. I'm tired of seeing the consistent bullshit. We all have hard times, no matter what color we are. You know, no matter what color we are. At the end of the day, the only color that really gets recognized is green. The more money you have, the more, you can pay for attorneys or a better house or a better education, a better car. That's what matters. Okay? A poor white person that can't afford nice clothes or a nice car or a nice house is still a poor white person. Same as a poor black person that can't afford those things. But you get a black person or a white person who can afford all those things. Basically, I mean, they're not poor, but yet they're still black. And they still will sit there and say, oh, black people get the, white people, black people get the, forgetting that, hey, let's be for real here. Let's really trace your lineage. And if you really did come from Africa and you never, ever, ever came here and you were still there, let's look at your lineage there. What are your relatives doing there? No, really. Legit. Any of these black people that are yelling about being, in the slavery, yeah, sure. Okay, getting here, that sucked. You're right, it did. Fucked up what you went through. But do you know that Ethiopian children are still starving to this day? Why not? Like, those Black Lives Matter, they don't matter? Why are Ethiopian children still starving to this day? Why? 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 What color are your politicians that are governing that are they black? Okay. And here you are bitching about being taken from your homeland and you want reparations for it. Are you going to give it to the black Ethiopian children that have been starving since I've been fucking born? I'll tell you that much. Why are they starving? Oh, you're going to blame that on my lack of education again? I'm just curious. Could it be because the black politicians are blocking the white UNICEF Act, the volunteers to get the food through? They're probably more than white. They're probably every color, the UNICEF workers. But the ones that are blocking the food from coming through are black. Do you know that? Did you notice that? Or do those Ethiopian children that are starving, do their black lives not matter? Is it only the well-fed that matter? When you got somebody you can blame and get something from? I mean, let's be for fucking real, shall we? Hi, Throwback. Now, I understand that. I mean, I lost like 16 subscribers because of this. 16? Okay. So why don't you let me know, the 16, who you are, and, give me a good reason why. Tell me why. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, is this not what everybody wonders? Does everybody not wonder why there are no white entertainment awards? Does everybody not wonder why there is not an Ivory magazine? So they say white people don't put black people in their movies. Okay? That's what they say. So white people put black people in their movies, and then they create black movies, right? Black awards, black magazines, and they don't have to recognize white people that are trying to, break into the entertainment world as well. So apparently they think that every white person that tries to break into the entertainment world just gets right in. They get right in. They get right in. Obviously, they get right in. Right? They don't have to give a hand up to, a white person and put a white model in their magazine. Fuck no. Now we want to be in your magazine and our own. So you only get to be in those magazines. We get to be in both magazines. Oh, we get to apply for all scholarships. God damn if you start a Caucasians only college fund. You better not. You fucking better not. We got the American Negro College Fund. And no, 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 no. White people don't get to apply for that. You only get to apply for your own, that we get to apply for too, because if they were called just Caucasian, I mean, God, you got hell to pay then. I'm very sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. I am not racist. I believe that everybody has their problems no matter what color they are. Okay? Any color can get a flat tire. Any color can do whatever. Okay? Anything can happen to anyone. But when you're going to sit there and actually think that no, 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 it only happens to us because we're black, but you're going to then use and throw in my face your college degree that you got as a black person and call me stupid because I didn't get to finish high school because my sister passed away and my mother, she moved us off to England. And you're going to throw that shit in my face. You're right. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. And when I tried to ask questions that would bridge the gap, like I just want you to see a video of where a white man gets, the knee to the neck and dies as well, they said their answer was, what the fuck do I give a crap about Tony Timpa? That was their answer. I was so fucking stupid because I'm biased, basically. I'm racist. I got my opinions, my lack of education. You know what? None of that matters. That I know how to say what's right and wrong. What the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? But we said, what the fuck do we care about George Floyd? Hell no. You're gonna get a knee to the neck, right? Knee to the neck, knee to the neck. I mean, stop it. What the fuck do you care about Tony Timpa? Well, therein lies the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. So you don't care about police brutality. Well, what's your point? Why should I watch it? Well, I want to show you that the knee to the neck was being used before George Floyd and nobody cared. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? No, I understand that your lack of education makes you biased. Fuck you. No, it doesn't. You're racist. And that's the fucking bottom line. You're racist. Who's we? You and your snake in the pocket? Be watching. Make sure you give thumbs up. Exactly, throwback, right? Exactly. So, so my opinion as a white person, I didn't, lost 16 subscribers, but the support for, but to hear somebody say, what the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? You know what Tony Timpa is? Somebody else's son. Somebody's son. You know? He was killed by white police, knee to the neck, 14 minutes. There was no wrongful death suit made. Nobody was convicted. What the fuck do you care about, Tony Timpa? Wow. Well, that certainly justifies the looting and the rioting, doesn't it? What a great answer. What the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? Hmm. Hmm. Wow. That is, who cared about Tony Timpa? His mother did. I fucking care about Tony Timpa. I'm gonna talk about Tony Timpa till the day I fucking die. I'm gonna say that George Floyd didn't make the difference in Minneapolis. It was already done in 2019 because of Justin Diamond. Okay? And they did it without rioting. You see? See how that is? They didn't destroy anybody's property. They didn't do any of that shit. They are the ones. Justine Diamond's family set the precedent for Derek Chauvin being convicted. Okay? I find it hard to believe that somebody dropped off my panel because I asked why it wasn't okay to have white entertainment, only, and, they dropped off after, making a comment like, what do you guys do? The Oscars. Fucking for real, man. So it's just never fucking enough, is it? Like, like, you know, I mean, that'd be like if, you know how people say, oh, well, just because, your boyfriend or your girlfriend cheated on you, then don't, like, be bitter against every other person that you date and think that everybody's the same. You can't, judge everybody by one bad relationship, right? But it's okay to judge every white person and say that basically my lack of education and their advanced education makes me come to my conclusion. Well, right therein lies the issue, right? I'm white. You said I had white privilege. I don't understand how. I don't understand. Don't you get more than me also? Like, for, this. I don't get it. How do I have white privilege and yet your whole life you've had it better than me? Can you explain that? I get it now. I get it now. You're just biased. You're just biased. You're gonna need some sleep. You should sleep on what you're saying. So are you saying I don't know how I grew up and what you're saying to me? You have to go back and watch because I don't really want to say names, but I don't understand that you're arguing with me that I don't know what I'm talking about as if my childhood and my life now and anything I've ever gone through didn't happen. And like you're not throwing in my face. Yeah, exactly. And then he blamed that on my lack of education for asking him that question. My lack of education made me ask how he would feel and why it isn't acceptable for white people to have an exclusive whites only channel or an exclusive Ivory magazine. My lack of education, which that shouldn't even be possible because I have white privilege, don't I? No, I don't. I don't. Oh my God, you know what might be amazing? I've actually received speeding tickets before. I have. Uh, 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 reason, welfare, harassed consistently by Mrs. Fish. She was black. She questioned my mother how she was able to afford my winter coat. Um, but my white privilege, but my lack of education makes me like ridiculous for saying that. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but I sat there listening in a private conversation to him resorting to calling me basically stupid. Because unfortunately, I opened up and said, yeah, well, my sister died before I was able to graduate, so, blah, blah, blah. So that was the constant argument. That was the constant reason why none of my questions that I asked him had to be answered because my lack of education was what made me ask it. That was the response I was getting. I was so stupid that I was asking these questions consistently. I was probably told I was so stupid, but not in those words, Basically, my lack of education while emphasizing their, how their lives don't matter, but they're great in education that, but while his life didn't matter. So basically, what I what legitimately is, right? I want to know how you afforded college if your life didn't matter. And I had privilege. How did you afford college? Remember? Because you evidently think that, I've heard you say consistently about reparations. So you think you deserve reparations, right? How did you pay for college if you were so done wrong? I mean, I don't understand. I'm not understanding that. And all the while, ridiculing that I said I was Jewish. You don't even follow Jewish. What kind of fucking black African cultures do you follow? How fucking dare you? Yep, put time out then, because once again, that's a stupid thing to say. That's a fucking stupid thing to say, Ben, because you know what? You're white. You're living in your car, okay? Apparently, with white privilege, shouldn't you have been handed a job? I mean, don't you remember equal opportunity employment? I mean, they needed that in order to get a job because you, who also, I don't know, I could be wrong. I mean, have you gone and filled out an application for a job? I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe you have. Maybe you've been refused jobs. But if you haven't filled out an application for a job, and then one day you decided you're going to go fill out an application for a job, does your white privilege get you that job, or does the equal opportunity, employment get the black guy that also decided to look for a job that day, get the job? Who gets it first? If one day you both decided, black and white, to look for a job, who gets the job? Because I don't know if, white privilege means that people knock on your door and say, oh, here's a job for you, or that two people, white and black, who don't have jobs go out and apply for a job on the same day, means that that person gets 5 points to begin with on the postal exam. Like, what's the white privilege as opposed to just going and filling out the fucking application and being qualified? Hello, Ricky. I just want to know. I mean, people go on about blacks not being able to vote, not forgetting that there was a fight before, he said, well done, that you left before, well done. No, it's not well done, because this is a fucking important topic. Because not only did blacks not have the right to vote, but women didn't. Okay? So, I mean, so it's not important that women didn't have the right to vote, but, oh yeah, but, nobody cares about those women, just, that blacks didn't have the right to vote. Oh yeah, but look at, they were sitting on they were making us sit at the back of the bus. So if it was the front of the bus, would it be okay? Well, no, it was because it was segregated. So is BET. So is Ebony Magazine and Jet and Essence. Segregated. So, and to say, oh, there's still segregated schools. You're right. All black. You find me one all white school, but there's all black schools. All black. One that took a major role in the Tuskegee experiment with the syphilis, a major role against its own kind. Is there any problem with that? Or am I just changing history? Am I just changing history? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, okay? If there was a school that basically white people were, just allowed in, and if there was a white person there that got beat up, it's because basically, why are they even here? They, white privilege, blah, look at that Karen. But there's entirely black universities. Entirely. Ben, I'm not attacking you. But at one point, I would like to hear you say something in support of me instead of against me. If you're not for me, you're against me. And I'm not saying you can't have your own opinion. You can. But there has been multiple times then when you have undermined something I am passionate about. Multiple times. And this is an important fucking topic then. It's important because while you're homeless, I want to know where your white privilege is. While Maddie is homeless and Gerald is homeless at the same time. So what's going on there? That's black and white, both homeless, a couple, right? So, I'm just curious. What would be the perception of that situation? It seems like basically Maddie is the money maker and she supports Daryl, and He doesn't work, but he seems able-bodied. But she does what she has to do for both of them to eat and fulfill their habits. Okay? So, where's her white privilege? And why doesn't he work? Don't care. I mean, that's, and I'm not trying to be rude or in any way, shape, or form, I believe, like, I was also in a conversation at one time where, and they were getting really heated um, that Jesus is black because, he was in, the continent of Africa and stuff. I'm not saying that he was black, white, or whatever, but chances of him being blonde haired and blue eyed, like they've shown him sometimes, are pretty slim. Pretty slim. Pretty slim. And okay, I understand that you do, but you're always fucking bashing me. Like, my shit is fucking ridiculous, Ben, and I love you to pieces. And I'm not like, I'm risking a lot by even speaking out and talking about something that I don't give your phone number to anybody, Ben. That's silliness. You don't even need to tell me that. I mean, this is like true shit right now that people think it and they don't say it, but it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. Okay? There's never a time in life that George Floyd or a lot of people would have made $27 million. So to provide $27 million to George Floyd's family in a wrongful death suit is incorrect. Okay? I know it was a compliment. Just, it seems like when things are met with violence, like destroying things and looting and things like that, and then the future responses are to to just not take note that these people fucking, that's their businesses. Sometimes people are even black that get looted in those neighborhoods. They're even black, but continue to use the words peaceful protest when looting was involved means it wasn't a peaceful protest. Where does looting go hand in hand with a protest? How does a peaceful protest also be interpreted as a riot? Sometimes violence is what has to get done to get the right thing. I mean, really? Hmm. 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 But when it comes to fighting in a war, why should we have to fight in that war? right? Why should we have to fight in that war? Why would we fight in that war? But then you want to destroy things that people maybe they did fight in the war and then they did this and then you destroyed their business and you don't want to. What the fuck do they matter to you? I don't want to watch their fucking video, right? Right? Why? Oh, I forgot they're not black, and that's the bottom line. I'm not blaming that on regular society. I believe that media plays a huge role in it, and I mean, but for somebody who's going to consistently throughout a phone call remind me of my lack of education. Ben, I'm just saying that it's an important topic that you're homeless, right? Correct? You're homeless. Where's your white privilege? But if you were in a riot and you are white, nobody's going to care that you're fucking homeless or your situation because of these blanket statements of white privilege and then Black Lives Matter. See what I'm saying? So suddenly you've got white privilege. That's what our color gets thrown in with, and then Black Lives Matter. So I'm just curious, what the fuck? So they don't make a difference, and that's why they're rioting, and looting. Okay, but 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 according to someone, the Black Panthers and are responsible, and for the equal opportunity and employment and education, and that's why women of all colors are getting more equal opportunity. I mean, I really don't even understand that in the least. In the least. So the Black Panthers are good. Ku Klux Klan bad. So people who don't like white people are good. They're making changes for everyone. Ku Klux Klan, changes for no one. Exactly. Because it's hatred. It's just hatred. It's logical and obvious to me that both of those groups represent hatred. That the N word and crackers think it's a news. I hate words. That's obvious to me. I don't need a college degree to know that. I'm sorry if you do. I don't. I don't. You can keep calling me stupid because I don't have a college degree. Right. But suddenly that all went out the window when I asked about, but then it became, yeah, but you weren't respecting my opinion. He didn't really give me an opinion, did he? I didn't even really hear any. I mean, when I was growing up, it was the ink is black. The page is white. Together we laugh. How the fuck is it possible that I never and then they say, oh, you're colorblind. Yes, you're right, I am colorblind. But you're not, right? I don't understand. What's the problem with that? Can you tell me who in your family was exactly a slave? Tell me what boat you came over on as a slave. Tell me how you think your college degree was detrimental to you. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, man, but to consistently get called stupid in the private conversation, my lack of education makes me a racist. I thought I had white privilege. I thought that's what made me a racist. But you won't watch Tony Timpa. I can honestly tell you right now that every single person who knows me knows that I have mentioned Tony Timpa repeatedly. Okay? Tony Timpa didn't just come into play because I'm trying to say, oh yeah, but look at this. Tony Timpa is somebody that maybe these riots could have been prevented had anybody given a crap. But they didn't. They didn't. They didn't give a crap, including yourself, college graduate. What the fuck do I care about fucking Tony Timpa? That's what he said. The fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? That was the first mistake right there with me. What the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? What the fuck do I care about George Floyd? You know what question you also didn't answer was, would you have cared so much about what happened to George Floyd if it was your daughter that he had held the gun to her pregnant stomach? I ain't getting an answer for that either. You know why? My lack of education made me so stupid that I asked the question. Every question that I asked and got no answers for was my lack of education. I know. The fact that I care about Tony Timpa doesn't mean that I would ever say to somebody, what the fuck do I care about George Floyd? You know why Tony Timpa means so much? Because maybe George Floyd wouldn't have been dead then. Maybe if George Floyd would have spent more time in jail, he wouldn't have gone out and held a fucking gun to somebody's head. Maybe he wouldn't be dead now. He certainly was armed. I mean, he was behind the wheel of a vehicle, an SUV, while under the influence of drugs. Certainly was armed. I'm sorry, but he was. I watched the videos. I watched that officer try to reason with him, reason with his friends, saying, just get out of, you know, just get out of the vehicle, just get out of the vehicle. We see therein lies the difference there. I watched that video. I asked a black friend to watch Tony Timpa's video, and their response was, what the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? Basically, my lack of education and their college degree makes them better than me. But I'm so confused because I thought I had white privilege. You don't want to see it, is the point. So you don't get to keep the history that whites are responsible for your slavery, but discard the history that the elite blacks have had their hand in quite a bunch of shit as well. You don't get to forget that black politicians ran Detroit and Flint and Michigan into the fucking ground. Okay? What do you mean? With cancer, I told you already, I am better. I am better. I don't know what you mean. Like, you mean cancer? Yeah. I want the whole world to get better because I think that there's a lot of cancer in society as a whole, in people. See, 16 people didn't support me if I said, why is there a BET but not a white WEC? Why isn't there an Ivory magazine but there's an Ebony magazine? Fine, going fine, little. 16 people. Are you kidding me? There was even where on that DoorDash or whatever it is, if you ordered from black restaurant, you didn't have to pay delivery charge. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If you order from a black restaurant, you don't have to pay the delivery charge. How the fuck is that fair? I'm not trying to be a dick. I am not trying to be a dick. But how the fuck is that fair? If they said if you order from a white restaurant, you don't have to pay delivery charge. Even Amazon, same thing. There was a commercial black girl. Oh, well, I come up with, incentives. I work for Amazon and incentives for black business owners. If you order from a black, delivery charges are you fucking kidding me? I can't own a business. And I'm like, can't afford it. Don't have it in me. Yeah, I can't do it. Struggling, struggling. Okay? Some black people can't own a business. But when you finally are able to own a business, not only do you have to compete just with other competitors, but you also have to compete with, yeah, but if I order from a black restaurant, I won't get delivery fees. Are you fucking kidding me? How is that a fair playing field? If God knows I'm fucking stupid, I didn't finish high school because, me and my white privilege. Are you kidding me? If ever, if ever, we said. See, that's advancement and then regression. If you didn't like it when white people were acting like the elite, what makes you think that it's okay for suddenly black people to display the same behavior? Do you think that elite, white, black, Chinese, no matter what they are just the elite? Like, do you think that a rich black family isn't going to leave their money to their black children and also like get the same benefits and get the same advice from their, financial advisors that rich white people get? Really? But here's something they don't get. They don't have to adhere to rules of, well, you have to hire black employees. They don't say to black people, well, you have a quota, you have to hire white employees. Nope, they don't have to give a helping hand. They can take it, so they don't have to give it. They can hate the people who enslaved them, but they don't show the love and the recognition for the white soldiers that fought for their freedom. Yeah, let's teach the history that we want to teach, which is that basically white, 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 bad, 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 white, 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 bad, 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 bad. Tell me about the people that lost their lives to fight. Tell me about them. What do you know? Anything? Do you care? Or is that, why the fuck do I want to think about them? Like Tony Tempa? Is that comparable to your response about Tony Tempa? Yeah, but ironically, the Tuskegee experiment with the syphilis that the all black university took part with, government, whether they're white or black. Black people work for the government too, sorry. They do, sorry. They do. They're actually lawmakers. Yes, Vern is a major weirdo. Um, and but what amazes me so much is to research starving Ethiopian children. And to this day, they're still starving. To this day, they're still starving. Who's running the country? What color are they? Why don't those Black Lives Matter? Like, I'm really not understanding if that's your homeland and they took us from there, then why are they still starving and why don't their lives matter and why isn't that out of your list? Why do you want more, 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 but who cares about starving Ethiopian children? We want more, 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 more. We want reparations now too. We want more, 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 more. You know what they want? Food. Oh, you got that, right? You got food. I mean, we got shelter. Our children aren't starving. Who gives a fuck about those starving Ethiopian kids? Well, hey, really? Wait a minute. I don't understand. So whose responsibility are they? Okay, those three backwoods dudes from Georgia going to prison. Wow. Was he doing a crime? I'm not saying chasing him with a gun was right, but but don't they say, well, they did just recently change a law, right? I was talking about it earlier. If a woman is voluntarily under the influence of alcohol, then rape is not considered a felony in Minnesota. Correct? Rape is not considered a felony in Minnesota. But so basically, this woman, she took some drinks. She's responsible for what happened to her. Hi, Paranormal Underworld. But this guy who was, breaking into construction sites, um, I heard that he was breaking into construction sites and stuff, and that, I mean, here's the thing though, little head. I hear what you're saying, but do you think that there has ever been a white person who was innocent that was jogging and was shot by black people just randomly? I'm just asking. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't be prosecuted. What I'm saying is, do you know of the case of the white kid jogging that was shot by three youth, black youth, just for the hell of it? Yeah, yeah, that is true. in Minnesota. That's basically what they're saying. Anything goes. Hey, you're voluntarily drunk. Anything goes. They didn't say whether you're black or white or anything. Just if you voluntarily drank alcohol, you know? It's the point that the media, puts so much emphasis on the crimes that are committed against black people, and they, you know, put so much out there that they think that it actually doesn't happen to white people, that, that there haven't been, okay, but what I'm saying is, why doesn't it just be that they killed an innocent boy? Why does African American come into play? Why does his color come into play as opposed to the crime in itself? Why does his color matter? It's the crime that whether they were white and they were chased down by white people and shot, would would it be as big as a, that's the point. What I'm trying to make is that when I said, yes, but look at Tony Timpa. Why the fuck do I care what happened to Tony Timpa? Was the response. And there was an Australian kid who got a baseball scholarship because it's a fact. I mean, so that's exactly what I heard too. There had been plenty of break-ins going on and stuff. And just let me ask you a question. I mean, don't you think that if gun laws were uh, handled more harshly, that wouldn't have happened? That there's probably been times when a black person has shot a white person, or a white person has shot a white person, or a black person has shot a black person, and that the gun laws weren't handled like they should have been. Right. There's a lot of different injustices going on in the world, all types of crime, different cases, all types. But to respond with, what the fuck do I care about Tony Timpa? Why? Why don't you care about Tony Timpa? Maybe what happened with George Floyd wouldn't have happened if you cared about Tony Timpa. But he wasn't black, so it doesn't fit the narrative. What is the case about then? So it wasn't criminal because they shot him, an innocent guy running, but it's a hate crime because he was black? So what kind of crime would it have been if he was white? Yeah, but when the real cops showed up, could have been like Tony Timpa, where he fucking was murdered anyway by the cops. Why was he there in the first place? Did he live there? I mean, wouldn't anybody run if they were being chased by anybody with guns? I mean, I don't see how it's a hate crime and not just a crime. What kind of a crime would it be if he was white? Would it not be a hate crime? So what kind of a crime would it be? You told me about the facts. The facts is that they killed somebody who you said was innocent. Uh, what would the crime had been if he was okay? Okay, so where does the African American part come into play? You said these Hicks shot an African American innocent boy. What does it make a difference if he was innocent? What difference does the color make? Take it. I'm not gonna put myself on because he was black. I don't understand though. Like, I mean, if he was white, though, would you say these three Hicks shot a innocent Caucasian boy? Would you have said that? I don't understand. If he's innocent, does it matter what color? Isn't it still a life? Like the blood that. Yeah, I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to make is that if they're going to change the laws that if a woman voluntarily drinks alcohol, then rape is not a felony. You know, basically, hey, she did it herself. And they used to say, well, what were you wearing? Look at the whole Fall River case, with the woman being raped, right? What were you wearing? Well, what were you doing? But the whole, well, you didn't live in that neighborhood, you were there. What exactly were you doing there? Oh, he was just walking through there. But the whole, people will be in uproar because it's about racism, but, you know, so do you think that no black people have ever attacked? Look at Reginald Denny. Reginald Denny, innocent truck driver, stopped at a stoplight, LA riot. What'd they do? Yanked him out of his car and beat the shit out of him. He was white. That's why they did it. Because he was white. Is that okay? Was that okay? I mean, I was told tonight that that's what it takes to make a difference. But apparently it didn't, because now here we are talking about this kid that was killed by, some white kids, some white guys. So that hate crime that nobody got convicted for, of Reginald Denny, was fine. We all watched that on camera. Did you see it? Reginald Denny, the truck driver, pulled out of his truck at a red light. I mean, that was just one of the cases. Did you see? He was white. He was beaten. I mean, what was the point of that? What did that change? Did it change hate crimes? Well, I don't think so, or we wouldn't be having this conversation right now, right? So they got to beat that, Reginald Denny, just some trucker, stopped at a stoplight, yanked out of his vehicle, and beaten to within an inch of his life on camera. No one indicted. You know why? Because the cops left for their safety. Not for the public's safety, for their safety. Blacks, whites, Asians lost their lives during that. But we were informed tonight that sometimes the violence is needed to make a change. What change did it make? Your lack of education makes you ask me that question, is apparently the answer. Right? My lack of education. It would make it that, I would ask a question like that. What change did Rodney King make? I'll tell you what he did say that was pivotal was, can't we all just get along? Don't hear him quoting those words, though, do ya? Can't we all just get along? It's still like, as if the riots were a good thing, even though George Floyd's own family said this isn't what he would want. It got breezed over too. Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit to think that the people who lost their lives, fighting in the Civil War don't matter. And the only ones that should be remembered are the people who, perpetrated these evils. That's bullshit. So you want to just, vilify, basically. You want to just point out the white people that took part, but you don't want to point out, the white people who were against it. There's two sides to every story. There was white people who were against it. If there wasn't, there would have been no Civil War, you know? Going around and destroy Confederate flags, oh, Confederate flags, these people have a Confederate flag. Sometimes those Confederate flags are, because they captured the flag, which means they won the battle. The Union won against the Confederacy. It was, a symbol of victory in the fight toward abolishing slavery. It's Confederate flag, destroy it. Yes, but when it's depending on who actually has it and what the point of it is but no, we don't want to know what's behind it. We just want to see what we want to see. Why the fuck do I want to watch Tony Timpa? Why the fuck do I want to answer a simple question like, why isn't there a magazine called Ivory? Why isn't there a White Entertainment Award? Why isn't there a only Caucasian college scholarship fund? I'm just going to drop out. Yeah, apparently your lack of education makes you ask these questions. My view is that there are heroic people in every walk of life. And if you are going to say that my lack of education makes me ask these questions, then I don't even think that Abraham Lincoln graduated from college, correct? He didn't. He actually was an indentured servant for quite a while. I bet you there's quite a few people throughout history that have made a difference that are not college graduates or even high school graduates. But you're black, I'm white, and you threw in my face my lack of education while what made me pose these questions to you. That was the response. I'm stupid, and that's why I'm asking you these questions. That is fucking ridiculous. 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 How dare you undermine a legitimate question that never seems to get an answer? Never. Other than there's no such thing as reverse racism. Like hell there isn't. Like fucking hell there isn't. Of course there is. Nobody sees any color except green. Okay? I don't care how black you are. If you have enough green, you can be part of the elite. right there around the white, Chinese, and anybody else who's got enough money. I'm not racist. I'm not a dick. And I'm not stupid. It was a legitimate question. And I've asked them before in other places, even where it's mostly, blacks, but I'll tell you, the predominantly black, like the Oscar Tatum live streams and shit, they'll have like thousands of people in there. Because nobody wants their neighborhood burnt down, looted, and a knee to the neck. Which is what, we risk. But all I did was ask a legitimate question. I asked a legitimate question. Would it be okay if we exclusively had a white-only entertainment channel? Whites-only magazine, where people, blacks in position, didn't feel that it was their responsibility to give a hand up to white people that were born into poor situations. I got no response. And privately, I got told my lack of education made me ask that question. Your lack of education and compassion because of your racist beliefs that make you think that my white privilege gives you the right to tell me that my lack of education, I didn't get it, because even if my sister didn't die, I wouldn't have been able to afford to go to college. Sorry, because my white father didn't stick around. And so it seems like, in actuality, if you had a two-parent family that was working and they gave you a secure upbringing, enough to go to college, and then you worked for this major company that gave you a good retirement, hey, guess what? Got news for you, buddy. I got none of that. And I don't believe that it was because of any color thing. I believe because it was the people involved in this particular situation. Apparently, your mother and father stayed together, loved each other, they were a family unit, and they did what's best for their children. My parents, although white, didn't give a fuck. Okay? So you were lucky. You got good parents. I didn't. How dare you call me stupid because I asked you a question? Fuck you. There are no stupid questions. There are only stupid answers. And your answer was stupid. So when you want to apologize to me for assuming that I'm white and I shouldn't get to ask that fucking legit question that everybody fucking wonders. Everyone. You know what else I wonder? When they're showing these worst fucking cities in the US. Right. I wonder why in front of these slums are there brand new fucking cars sitting there? You gonna tell me that's my lack of education and wondering that? I didn't say black, white, or anything. I just want to know, do these people like really park their brand new vehicles in the one of the 10 worst slums in America? Why isn't even the guy who's making the fucking video wondering it? These are brand new vehicles on the streets of the biggest ghettos, and you know, yeah. But Anne Frank, you know what? She doesn't. They don't even make. In fact, the Diary of Anne Frank isn't even allowed to be read in school anymore. You know that? The Diary of Anne Frank isn't even allowed. If I ask a question about the Holocaust and Jewish history, you know what they can tell me? Zilch. Zero. Zilch. Zero. Zero. I'm white and racist, and that's why I'm asking that question. So I felt so too. And yelling. Yelling. Every example was a black example. Anyone asked legitimate question, dropped out. Then privately said my lack of education, named off his degrees, and doesn't realize that. So, hey, buddy, where's my white privilege? Well, my lack of education, once again, made me say that. Well, what about the Buffalo Soldiers? They killed off some Indians, but you keep blaming the white man for killing Indians. What about the Buffalo Soldiers? You want to take some responsibility for that? You need to apologize to me for that, then was that. So basically, what do you fucking think? You were just fucking drumming your fingers in your African fucking village, and we came along in there, and you know, dragged you out of there, and all history that says that your elite there didn't own fucking slaves. Um, all that's not true, but all the bad shit is true, correct? But who gives a fuck about Tony Timpa, and who gives a fuck about the Jews, or who gives a fuck about poor white people? Who gives a fuck about poor people? Who gives a fuck about anybody but Black Lives Matter? You know what? Damn right they do. We had a black president. Stop undermining yourself or thinking that we don't know. You know, because I'm sick of it. Don't call me stupid, my lack of education, without realizing that doesn't fit your narrative of being oppressed. I guess you weren't oppressed then, right? Travis Scott, he's got $60 million. He wasn't oppressed, was he? You are colorblind, he says. Yes, I said I'm colorblind. I was being facetious. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. And let me tell you one more thing. Go back to school because you need to. Because this lacking education person certainly knows the answer to the questions you will pose to me, whether it's pertaining to black people and white people or any kind of history. You know why? Because I'm not fucking racist. I care about humanity, no matter what color they are. No matter what color they are. But when you're going to sit there and destroy and riot and loot places, I want to know, do you realize that ate up your reparation? You don't get to do that. You don't get to act like that. And the next time you get an extra buck in your pocket, send it to Ethiopia and feed those starving black lives that matter over there in your home country, in your motherland, remember? Because I certainly know you don't donate it to any white charities, do ya? How about black charities? You know, to continue to hear about Martin Luther King, knowing that Martin Luther was an anti-Semite, the original Martin Luther, who is the one that Martin Luther King Jr., his father, idolized. The heroic part is that Martin Luther King Jr. did not follow in those footsteps, but the father didn't like Jews and he liked Martin Luther, and that's why he changed his name. But Martin Luther hated Jews, and you want to keep throwing that in my face repeatedly. Show me another hero. Come on, you got all that education, but you didn't even know that the first woman firefighter was black, and are you kidding me? You know what color my brain is? Same color as yours. Well, the South is still racist, and why is the majority of... Do you understand, though, that the South is still racist, but black people are racist, too. Right, see? See what Rachel just said? People are what they are individually. I mean, that's like saying, oh, I mean, anything. It's a blanket statement. And that was my point, was the blanket statement, like white privilege, don't apply to everyone. Don't apply to everyone. Um, why do I need to look at the qualified immunity doctrine? What does that have to do with anything? But do you think that blacks aren't racist? You know, I'm just wondering. Like, I can guarantee you that Donald Trump or some, super mega rich, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, would just as soon not even talk to a poor black person or a poor white person, no matter what color they were. You know, some of them, somewhat, but when people start using words like, white and black and the whole South and this and that, then, I mean, look at Nitty. He's racist and sexist. He talks about these women's and these white women's and women's and white women's and this and that and this and that. And fucking, he doesn't live in the South, right? Michigan is in the South. And yet he doesn't even realize that during the 70s, when he says, his father made $70,000 a year working for GM, that's not oppressed. $70,000 a year working for GM in the 70s is not oppressed. No, how am I racist? Well, so now I'm racist because I said the blanket statement. Okay, how? How does it sound like I am? Because you sounded racist against the South when you use the blanket statement. How does it sound like I'm racist? Honestly, how does it sound like I'm racist? Just one that. No, that's not an answer. I hope the fuck not. Just one time, man. If somebody's gonna spout something out, please follow it up with a legit answer. What makes you think I'm racist? But was it okay to shoot the white kid just 'cause? The kid over here from Australia on the baseball scholarship, the college kid running down the street, gets shot by three black youths just driving by just for the fun of it. Was that okay? Because I know about both stories, but you said you only know about that one. So maybe nobody's racist. Maybe somebody's just not informed that it happens to any race. Well, let me get that straight. Let's let's reword your sentence. It's not okay to shoot a black kid just cause, but in terms of that statement, it could mean that it's okay to shoot a white kid just cause. Because apparently, you don't think it's not okay to shoot a kid just cause. You think it's not okay to shoot a black kid just cause. That's what you're saying. You don't think it's not okay to shoot a kid just cause. You think it's not okay to shoot a black kid just cause. Because why would you even need to put that word in there? That's my point. Like, what's your point? That it's not okay to shoot a black kid just cause? Okay, but only for a black kid? Like, why do you need to point out what color he was, as opposed to it's not okay to shoot a kid just 'cause? Why do you have to tell us what color he was? Is it because you think it's okay to shoot a white kid just 'cause? Wow. See, so that's a legitimate point. So that means I'm just rambling. Why did you need to point out what color they were? Do you think it's okay to shoot a white kid just 'cause? If he was white, would you have said it's not okay to shoot a white kid just 'cause? But because they're black, you felt the need to point out their color? I'm just asking, can you give me like a legit response instead of trying to insult me? I mean, I'm just rambling. That's your response to a legit question. Why did you feel it necessary to say it's not okay to shoot a black kid just because? Is it okay to shoot a Chinese kid just because? Is it okay to shoot a Puerto Rican kid just because? But it's not okay to shoot a black kid just because. Why wouldn't it be? We don't any more time for hatred. That doesn't even answer the question of why you felt it necessary to point out that you feel it's not okay to shoot a black kid, as opposed to it's not okay to shoot any kid just because. Oh, absolutely, I'm okay. Are you? Because apparently you think it's okay to shoot anybody else just because, but not a black kid. You felt it was necessary to throw in black so that we know that you think it's okay to shoot any other kid, just not a black kid. Asking me if I'm okay is not a response. Can I get a legitimate answer of why you felt it necessary to point out they were black? Wow. Yep. Another not response. Okay. Let's give you another chance. Why did you think that it was necessary to say it's not okay to shoot a black kid just because? Do you think it's okay to shoot any other color kid just because? That's not what I'm asking you. You said it's not okay to shoot a black kid just because, implying that it was okay to shoot any other color just because, but not a black kid. Why isn't it wrong to you? No, you're still not answering the question. Why was it necessary for you to point out a black kid just because? In other words, what you're saying is it's okay to shoot a white kid just because. It's okay to shoot a Chinese kid just because, but it's not okay to shoot a black kid just because. Because evidently you don't have a problem with shooting a kid just because, only if it's a black kid, just because. You're a racist. Shut the fuck up and go school yourself, idiot. And there you go. Couldn't come up with one legit response other than I'm black and it could have been me. I'm black and it could have been me. But hell, if it was a white kid, more power to you. Couldn't come up with one fucking legit response except to insult me. Exactly. I agree, Ganjan, and I agree, Dominic. I mean, and no matter how many times I mentioned that prior to that, there was also a white kid that was innocent, jogging, shot by 3 black youths just because. Didn't matter. Showed no interest. Continuously pointing out that it was a black kid. It was a black kid. It was a black kid. Of course, it's okay for them to refer to the white people as kids. But it'd be pretty bad if, we were like, yeah, but why was that N in that neighborhood, right? You know what? We don't do that. We don't say it. Because you know why? I'd be hard pressed to think we get away with having a white entertainment only award. So how far really have we come? So they are winning Oscars and segregating the BET award to the white. Oh, I see. They've come a long way, right? So far that they decided that to become, I don't know, racist and feel like only their lives matter. Everybody else's lives don't matter when black people's lives matter. When those Ethiopians stopped starving because you felt like their lives mattered in your homeland, come talk to me. Because in the meantime, my white privilege taxes have fed black people, white people, and anybody. Okay? George Floyd never paid a fucking tax in his life. He wasn't worth 27 cents, let alone 27 million. Okay? Educate yourself on Justine Diamond and Tony Timpa. Say their fucking names. Say their names. Because until their lives matter to you and you know what the qualified immunity doctrine is, go fuck yourself. Peace, love, and tacos. Love you guys.